the big dome and the statue of Saint John on top. That's a baptistry. You remember the liturgy was different. Baptism means immersion. And is it okay? What happened that people without baptism a long time ago didn't have the permission to get inside the church. That's the reason why wherever you go in the old medieval cities, you will always find the baptistry separated independent from the church. The church is that one, chiesa. You know, Italians are very complicated people. I'm one of them, right? So the Duomo, it's called Duomo. Domus Dei means house of God. So wherever you go, the Duomo is always the most important church in town. But it's a cathedral. Cathedra is the bishop's throne. Because I told you, the archbishop resident, so there's an archbishop in town. And that church is very old. It was began in 1063, almost 1,000 years old. The baptistry in 1153, same period of the construction of the city walk. And you see the fortifications, medieval. And the tower. I'm saying now tower and not yet leaning tower. Right, from here it's not leaning, but there's another good reason. First of all, it was built with the purpose of ringing the bells. You know what I mean? To be the bell tower of the church. Bell is campana, so campanile, bell tower. And it was designed by a certain Bonanno Pisano in 1173. And it had to be, of course, straight and not leaning, like, you know, the ordinary bell towers all over the world. So we do actually think it was a sort of a mistake, very good for us and poor guys now, you know, honestly, but a mistake made by the first master called Bonanno, never been so good as an architect, as an engineer. So he didn't choose a very good place for the construction, and the foundations are not very deep, less than 3 meters and 50 centimeters. Apparently not enough, not sufficient for the height of the tower. Regarding its height, I should say, I'll show you better from the wow side. Look at me. Can you see? There's a column with the vase on top. And behind it, there's one of the most impressive points of the wow side. And from there, you will see one important thing I'm going to explain to you. Because Bonanno built the lower part, blind arches and little lozenges of Roman inspiration on the first 2 floors. But just a few years after the beginning of the work, the tower started tilting for the first time. So there was already, since 1180, a small inclination like this. Maybe 20, 30 centimeters, so not much, but now you know the tower has never been perfectly straight since the beginning of the work. For this reason, the first inclination after the construction of the second floor, this was a kind of like an echo, you know. Good. So I didn't know. I put it anyway. So I was saying, after the construction of the second floor, the work was interrupted for the first time. Was continued after 1 century by the second architect, named Giovanni di Simone, who continued the work, so built the other stories, starting from the third to the balcony top. And tried hardly to do what? Can you imagine? To compensate, correct the inclination, straighten the tower a little bit. And he did it in a very simple way, with an easy technique. You know, the tower leans south. He simply moved the weight of the other stories, starting from the third towards the opposite side, to the north. That's the reason why, as soon as I will bring you see the tower from the wow side, you will see that the tower has also very strange, slightly curved banana shape. It looks like a banana because it was straightened already, not recently, in 2001, but long time ago. That's the reason why it's in there, thanks to the second master. And this, I'll show you this particular shape from this wow side, one of the best points of view. And but just to finish the story, what happened that Giovanni died in 1284. Pisa was strongly defeated by the rival Gino, so the work was stopped again for the second time, and the tower was achieved by Tommaso Pisano within 1370. So 2 centuries and 3 masters to finish. The right inside, I'll show you. If you can wait, I will bring you closer. you can control the information. There's a small empty well, and it contains a spiral stairway with almost 300 steps, 294. So it's a little bit tiring. I have to go up, and a bit expensive because visitors pay 20 euros to go up, and sorry, just to get tired because no, no lift, no elevator, English and Americans. So, well, that's a fun for visitors. I mean, to get tired, and on the other side, the business for the Opera del Duomo Foundation, which is called in a funny way, no profit foundation, because it's partly religious, that's everybody does a huge profit. But I have to whisper because I would be in trouble with the priest, especially, today, it's a Sunday morning. Now, my dear guests, so the angle of its inclination is 5 degrees and 4 meters, okay? Now, I would like to bring you there, and you remember the towers are definitely, especially the base of the tower foundation, they were consolidated, reinforced, stabilized, was in 2001 and was straightened half meter. So it's good, great success. All the engineers stated that the tower has since 2001 the same precise inclination that it had at the end of the 18th century. But before we go, I've forgotten to tell you one important thing. Not only the tower leans a little bit above this, leans a little bit north, this is big. Leans the dome of the church, and downtown in that direction by the two banks of the Arnos River, which is at the end, it's plenty of other leaning buildings. And the subsoil, of course, because, Pisa was a seaport, so the Mediterranean Sea arrived at the gates in that direction west. There was a lagoon, and Pisa, since the Roman period, was founded right in the middle of two deltas, the one of the Arnos River in the south, and close to here there was another one. So imagine the floods, the accumulation of clay, of sand by the coast. So what happened little by little during the centuries, the Roman tiny harbor first, recently discovered close to here, disappeared, hidden down into the sand, and so did later the medieval people. So the shoreline is in that direction, about 7 kilometers far. So wherever you go, the subsoil is soft, unstable, made up of different layers of clay, sand, and a few meters underground water. I'm sorry, you can hear the ringing of the bells, but they're not moving and not oscillating. There are 7 huge bronze bells, 1 ton of bronze each. That's a reason why. They're ringing down by electricity. Can you hear? Maybe 2 or 3 at the same time, but not oscillating, too dangerous for the tower. So now you know it's still a bell tower for the church. Now, shall I bring you now to see the tower from the wild side? No, we stop one moment in the shade because I'd like to show you what's inside. And you have to control the information.